This video is brought to you by intosports.ca, Canada's largest online soccer retailer. Be sure to use coupon code SR4U at checkout for $10 off an order of $50 or more. Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com bringing you a comparison video between the Adidas 11 Pro SL and the Adidas F50 adizero miCoach in leather. The reason I am comparing these two shoes is because this is Adidas' offerings and probably the only offerings in that ultra lightweight range that offer the leather upper, other than probably the Puma King SL. To start off with the adizero, it's probably the most popular shoe on the market right now. The leather section on the front here, although it is pretty small, it is still leather, and I guess it's enough to justify that it has somewhat of a leather touch, even though that midfoot is completely synthetic. The leather that you do get is what Adidas calls a Golio leather, and it's pretty much the treatment method. It's actually a calfskin leather, and the quality is okay. It's definitely not the best that you can get on a soccer shoe, although a lot of people will overhype the adizero as far as how good the leather quality is. In comparison to other shoes that I've worn, even the 11 Pro SL, the leather quality is just not as good as it could have been, and probably not as good as it should be, in my opinion, for such a popular shoe. But that is what you get as far as leather goes. The rest of the shoe is a fairly thin synthetic, but you have this kind of synthetic suede liner on the inside. You can't see it, it's too dark, but it adds a little bit of bulk, and then you get this kind of like leather finish on the outside, just to get rid of, it doesn't have that grippiness that you'll get from like the synthetic version. But you'll notice that the leather itself is on the thicker side in comparison to the actual thickness of the synthetic. So to me, it's kind of a harsh transition with both of these shoes in comparison to the leather and to the synthetic. With the 11 Pro SL, the leather that you're getting at the front is actually a kangaroo leather, and while I've worn this shoe for probably about somewhere around 10 hours now, the leather has softened up significantly to where it was originally, and it also has stretched quite a bit. Both of these shoes do tend to stretch a fair amount, so I do recommend going half a size down for both of these shoes if you want the best possible fit after break-in. But the leather on here again is fairly thick, thicker than I would have expected it to be on such a lightweight shoe. But it's not a bad thing. I really do like the feel of this. This one has that more traditional feel, I guess you could say. I wouldn't call it a traditional feel, but it's leaning more towards that way than the adizero does. The adizero for me is more of a thin synthetic rather than a leather shoe. Again, you get this predominantly the entire toe and almost the entire forefoot is leather, but the midfoot on the 11 Pro SL is incredibly thin. It's exactly the same thickness as the sprint skin upper on the synthetic adizero, so it's basically paper thin, and it's kind of, again, it's like I said earlier, it's kind of a harsh transition in between the thick padded leather and then to the thin zero padding synthetic. But what I do like is they included this leather tongue, which does provide that same thickness as the leather, and it really does offer a more traditional feel, I guess you could say. As far as how these two shoes fit, the adizero is a more wide fitting shoe all the way through. The front part that's leather will definitely stretch out to pretty much any foot width. The midfoot is medium to wide fitting, I guess you could say. It's not, most people are going to be able to fit into the adizero no problem. And then the heel itself is again pretty wide fitting, and some people are experiencing some slippage issues with the adizero. I myself did have some small issues, but that's only after the shoe stretched a little bit too much. Again, going down that half a size is really important if you do want the best possible fit. As far as the 11 Pro SL, again, you have that bigger toe box just like the adizero. It fits fairly wide, and again, it fits on the longer side as well, so going down the half size is really important. The upper will stretch in the front, this leather part. The leather part's really going to determine the shape of the shoe, whereas the midfoot on the 11 Pro SL is significantly narrower. For whatever reason, it's pulled much tighter on the 11 Pro SL, so there's significantly less material here, so when you do pull the laces tight, it really does grab that instep of your foot, and it really makes the midfoot area really narrow on this particular shoe. Whereas the heel is a little bit more low cut on the 11 Pro SL, and again, I had some heel slippage issues at first. It seemed to have gone away. Heel slippage is a small issue on both of these shoes. I don't think it's to the point where I was risking getting blisters, but there was some small issues, especially for the first 10-20 minutes wearing the shoes until they started to soften up. What makes these shoes so similar is the sole plate and stud pattern, because they have the exact same one. You're getting this new stud pattern and sole plate from Adidas in comparison to past Adizeros. It's a little bit more hard angles, it's a little bit stiffer, the plastic seems to be a little bit stiffer, and overall I'd say it's a little bit better. The studs you're getting, again, there's some small changes in the stud pattern in comparison to the last one. Basically these little dips in the studs. To me, it's not a big thing, and it's not really going to change the actual feeling of the stud pattern itself. You get these triangular studs. They don't dig in necessarily all that much. It's kind of a blend between conical and bladed stud pattern. It's a stud pattern that kind of does require the ground to be a little bit softer. For hard ground situations, even turf, I find the stud pattern to be a little bit too, the studs are a little bit too long, so you're not digging in as much, and it can lead to some stability issues, but most people seem to get away with it and have no issues with it. And again, they're both miCoach compatible, so if you do have a miCoach chip, you can slide it in there and get your track your stats. Sorry. As far as weight goes, these are both really ultra lightweight shoes, and the Adizero is supposed to be that ultra lightweight, lightest shoe on the market kind of thing. Although the new miCoach seems to has beefed up from past Adizeros, it still has that ultra lightweight feel. Throw the Adizero leather on the scale. Keep in mind these are both size 9 and they are both used, and the Adizero leather weighs in at 6.9 ounces, so slightly more than past Adizeros. Actually about a full ounce more than past Adizeros, but still lightweight, under that 7 ounce kind of mark, which is the standard. And then this is the 11 Pro SL. Keep in mind there's more leather on this shoe, and the leather that you do get is kangaroo leather, as well as a thicker tongue. You get a suede heel liner. For me, there's a lot more going on in the 11 Pro SL, and then this is a little bit dirty in comparison to the Adizero. And you show that on the scale, and it weighs in at 6.8 ounces, so actually 0.1 ounces lighter. To me, that's a little bit surprising. I'm not entirely sure what the listed weights are, but again, it's not really important because we just weighed it in real time. For me, I don't know if that's the right thing. I think that if you're going to tout the Adizero as the lightest, best speed boot on the market, it should definitely be the lightest shoe in your line. Where you can get the 11 Pro with, in my opinion, I just like a lot more. You get a better leather quality, you get this nice tongue. To me, it fits a little bit more snug. It just feels overall a lot better than the Adizero, and it's lighter. So I'm not sure how that's, if that's the right thing for Adidas to be doing. Personally, I think the Adizero should definitely be lighter, but again, that's just my opinion. Like I said, I do prefer the 11 Pro SL over the Adizero, but they are both pretty solid shoes. Again, if you want to check out the full written review for the Adizero miCoach leather or synthetic, I'll leave links in the description. There'll be a full written review that goes into detail, but way more detail than I did in this video. And there'll be high quality pictures of these shoes, as well as buy it now links with the best prices online. The full written review for the 11 Pro SL is not up yet, but if you see an annotation that just popped up, the full written review is up, if you're watching this at a later date, of course. And there you'll find the full written review, as well as the high quality pictures and the buy it now links with the best prices online. As always, guys, if you have any questions not related to the video, go ahead and ask them on my Facebook page, and make sure to go check out the super deals section on my website. It's a really great place to find some really great deals on a brand new pair of soccer shoes that are really high end and for a really good price. The link's in the description to that as well. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.